Hello, Lego lovers. This is L, and this is a Lego City set review or road set review. This is Road Plates set number 60304. 112 pieces, retails for about $20 in the US. And I did do a parts review of this set and went through everything contained within. And it's one of these type of sets where you build it however you want. So I made a custom build and basically kind of an intersection. Before I even get into reviewing the set, I thought an important thing would be what cars and vehicles would fit on these roads well. So I have an assortment of vehicles right next to me that we can try out. Cat grooming car probably fits really good. As we can see, takes up one half of the street and doesn't completely take it up. We don't clip any signs on the way. And let's go for a trip. I'm going to regret this. No, not too bad. Needs to stay in the lane, though. Then we have Olivia's electric car. This is a little bit bigger, and with the lights, you can see it gets really close to hitting stuff. Not sure how I feel about this, and this is a pretty average sized vehicle. Then we have this city truck from an old type camper set. And as you can see, this is starting to be too big. It's taking up the entirety of the road and then some with just the tires. You can kind of see being out there. And I know cars don't necessarily drive on this road like that, but you can see it's fairly tight. Feasibly could work though. So let's go a little bit bigger. Here we have a little amusement park hot dog stand, and they want to get to the amusement park so they can sell it. And as you can see, this is probably about the same size as the truck. So it works. It can drive. It works. Not a problem. So now let's bring in my 8-wide custom Speed Champions vehicle with hover wheels, and as you can see, it is way bigger, unfortunately. Yeah. Let's keep going. Here we have a friend set, the tour bus, and this vehicle will have extreme problems turning. Well, took out a tree. They're going to have to pay for that later. Luckily, it's a Popstar bus, so they have lots of money. And this does not fit. In fact, it is literally almost the entirety of what I have built on it, and it can extend. If you have this set and you're wondering how much you get in here, you get quite a bit. So we'll close that back up, and I have 2 more vehicles to test out here because I grabbed a whole pile of different vehicles. Unfortunately, my sloping little setup here is not working, and this is a tractor that came in the same city lineup as the other one. And yeah, as you can see, this is way too close. You can't even see the white lines on here. So yeah. 1 more vehicle, and then that's it. So, this Monkey Kid vehicle, is gonna totally fail and destroy the road. Yep, completely. But I wanted to use an example of another just different type of vehicle. Literally takes up the whole road. And interestingly enough, I would say that if you made your road double wide, this would still not fit in there. So we're going to just assume this is a display piece or a play piece and you don't want roads with it. Now that I've kind of destroyed my build doing this, because of this angle on my setup here, let's fix that a little bit. So what do I think about this? Well, at $20, it doesn't work in my city. So that really doesn't matter for most people because they're either going to use it or they're not going to use it. And to be honest, I think there's value in this set just in the fact that you get a lot of parts and you don't have to use them as roads. One thing with this is that even though these have lines on them, you could put a regular tile there and use that just as a one-lane full road. I think this makes a little bit more sense, that size with that size of vehicle. Compared to base plates, to be honest, I don't use base plates in my city except for building on. So there is the unfortunate side effect of if you use these roads with buildings on base plates, these will be raised up a little bit. Another thing that my city has an advantage is, like my modulars, I have the modulars. My modulars are already raised up. So if I was going to use this road for the modulars, it would actually be perfect because my sidewalks would be already over that. So personally, the road's going to be a personal thing. I'm not going to get any of the sets with the roads, and I'll say that here, even though this is not a review of those sets, but I don't really like the concept of having sets with the roads built in, because as a kid, when I was younger, if I had a vehicle, I drove it on the carpet. I had base plates, but I pretty much never used them because why? You know, I can just drive around wherever I want. All terrain, throw whatever, put clothing down, drive over it if you had cars and stuff. So I had no interest in roads. So if you got a set with a road in it, basically you're going to feel like you're not getting anything unless you use it to build something else. So I don't like the concept of having sets with roads in them, or as part of the set. Any of the sets that I've seen that they have, I don't really like them because you're paying for the road. You are. There's no way around it. And that's not something I have interest in because, one, my city doesn't use roads like this, and two, I would independently rather have this because I can get as many roads from something like this that I want and not have to worry about, well, now I have to figure out how many I can get from the sets plus whatever, I just don't like it. But let's kind of talk a little bit more about what we get here as I literally destroy everything. So one thing is you have a little bit of greenery. Personally, I don't think that was necessary for this set. It probably is in here because it kind of helps connect some of the parts, but it's like a side thing. I don't really like having little green parts because it just is not going to correlate. If there was no green parts here, I think it would go better for the road overall. But it's okay. It's nice what we have. You get some trees and some plants, not a whole lot. Not really anything decorative too much, but it's nice. The tiles, one of the things that I didn't really like, and it's when I found out when I was building this, is they don't get enough of the 1x2 type tiles. I think they should put a little more in there of those because I think those are a little versatile. The other thing I feel they should have put in here is a couple jumpers. Like a single jumper and then 2x2s, because then you could place things on there and they could stick. Unfortunately, they didn't do that, but we do have two nice signs. Unfortunately, depending on what country you live in, this is a little weird. Maybe that is too, but it is nice to have, and we'll consider it Lego style. These are fantastic, and these actually have glow-in-the-dark plates underneath, which I think is a wonderful idea. I think it would be cool to have a whole city with tons of these streetlights with those glow-in-the-dark pieces or more, and then you turn the lights off and see what it looks like. I'm not a big person on lighting, but I think kind of having some streetlights with some lighting might be kind of cool. So these parts might get incorporated into my city. And then here we have your standard stop and go type lights. Not a big surprise that they put these in here, but not super exciting. One thing I would like to see is a different kind of street lights extra type set. If you know what extra is, it's on the Lego website, and or Lego store probably. It's little packets of stuff that you can add. A lot of it usually is orientated around city, like food, botanical, little add-ons you can add to the city. I want one that just has like this part in it and a couple of these. I think that would be a great thing to get. You could light your whole city and you'd get these cool, I don't know if they would put printed parts in here. You don't even need the printed part. It would just be nice to have the glow in the dark and how this design is for these lights, because it's not that bad. It's fairly simple. It might not be perfect, and you might want to bring it down like this to give it a different look. You could also, quick and easily do it like that, very simply. Put it under there like that. A little bit, smaller variant there. Or whatever. I mean, you could even I don't know. Use your own parts, and you can do whatever you want. Obviously, that is one of the awesome things about Lego. But overall, as a $20 set, when I did the parts review, definitely felt it was worth it. You do get a road that looks fine. If you're a person that has a city and you want a road, this could be great. My only problem is as I've just shown you with an assortment of vehicles from an assortment of different Lego lines, although most of them are friends, you'll see that not very many vehicles actually work with these roads. That is one of the things I don't like. And to be honest, that whole argument over base plates versus roads, to me, it's a moot point. Though, because value-wise, I personally think this has more value than 2 base plates. Size-wise, I think they're about equal. Because you can do this intersection where you can't do as much of an intersection with it. So I feel that they're fairly equal in that aspect. I think they have about the same road width, not 100% on that, but this just feels narrow. I don't know what they can do about that. I mean, besides making these wider and then making them, they can't really be square. And if you make them squared any bigger, they start kind of being awkward. I mean, they could, though. But this isn't a bad product. I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't necessarily know how many kids are going to be excited to get a road. If I was a kid and you're like, hey, you got a road, I'd be like, well, why can't I have a space robot or a cool vehicle or a bank or something? It just feels basic. I don't really have any way to put it. It's just really not special. It's a neat thing. I like the parts in it, but like if I was a kid, I would not want this at all. I'm not a kid though. I'm an AFOL, and I have more interest in getting this than as a kid because I just think the parts are neat. There's good parts in here. The big plates I think are interesting and could have uses. I mean, even if you're into modular buildings and you make your own modular buildings, you could use these as roof parts if you're not going to use them in a city. And these are big plates. So I've been talking about this set for a long time. I still plan on trying to do another video where I take one of these parts and put it by my city and give additional opinions on it in comparison to my city. But yeah, it's not really a big idea video, just kind of something that might be more silly. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and hopefully you'll check out more of my videos. Less road.